Hello YouTube fam, welcome back to another Vinyasa practice. Today we're going to be working with a couple of fun and funky feet variations. So I love this sort of class. I love being able to explore in the body and kind of ask myself, what if I turn my toes this way? What if I move my foot in this direction? What if I change this up? And I think we can get into a feeling of being comfortable with certain asanas, and by changing little things up, it means that we really have to be present and active and awake, and it's just a lot of fun. It brings out that inner creativity and that there's no one rigid way of doing a certain pose. So with that being said, we're going to stand up to begin our practice. So come to the tops of your mat. You're going to bring the feet about hip width distance, and before we get into our moving, we're going to ground in our Tadasana for a few breaths. So spread the toes wide, soften the knees, try lift tall through the spine, and then you can keep your palms facing towards you, or if you wanted to, you could turn the palms out, reaching the thumbs out slightly. Shoulders slide away from the ears. Maybe you have a little tuck of the chin in, a little tuck of the ribs in as well. And just quickly scan your body and see if you are holding any excess tension. Tadasana is quite an active pose, and our muscles will need to be engaged a little bit in order for us to find length and kind of openness here. But sometimes it pushes a little bit too far, and we can hold tension potentially in the face. So maybe in the jaw or the eyebrows or the eyelids. If you notice your shoulders are up by your ears, can you slide them down the spine a little bit more? If you notice that your legs are locked out, can you soften them a little bit? And then can you start to bring your attention to your breath? As you inhale, feeling the ribs expand front and back, side and side, feeling the diaphragm drop down, feeling the chest lift as well. And then exhaling, feeling the rootedness of the feet draw down. Let's try about 3 more breaths. I should note that if you did need to open your eyes at any point for you to feel stable, you're more than welcome to do that as well. I'm really trying to channel this inner creativity, this inner fun, kind of using our mat as our playground and just seeing what shapes we can create and how many sensations we can create in our body as well. Start to open the eyes. We're going to transition the weight into the left foot. Come onto the right toes and then just start taking some circles with the ankle. Now, if this feels pretty awkward, you could just go forward and press down onto the tops of the toes and then back. Another option that you can take is taking the hands behind the thighs and maybe doing the circles with more support of the hands. I find that with the floor, it gives me a little bit more of a place of resistance, so I can find more opening through the front of the foot and the ankle. Let's all bring the tops of the toes down so our toes are pointed. Take a big breath in. Start to reach the arms out in front, shoulders down. As you exhale, find a squatting position. So push your hips back, get the knees traveling forward, and at any point, if you feel super uncomfortable here, please unwind. Come back through center, breathe in. This time, the toes are tucked. Exhale, same thing. Sending the hips back and down. Belly away from the legs. Come back up. This time, outside of the foot is going to come down. Now, if you've rolled your ankle recently, or if you've got ankle injuries, I would probably stay away from this, although it's important to get our ankle in different positions. Breathe in. As you exhale, push the hips back. Right knee is going to travel out towards the side a little bit. Come back through center, and then we'll swap it out. So shift the weight into the right foot. Take a couple of rolls with the left foot here. So in order to build strength in different ranges of motion, we need to move our feet and ankles in different ways. All right, one of the ways that we create injuries is because we don't have necessarily flexibility or mobility within the tendons and the ligaments that surround this. And so we can create strength in those different places to help build it up. All right, tops of the feet down on the ground. Breathe in. Exhale, half squat. Inhale, come back up, tuck the toes. Exhale, same thing. Inhale, come back up. Outside edge of the foot comes down, or alternatively just flat on the foot. Exhale, press the left knee out, right knee over the toes. Come back through standing. Both of the feet come down. Breathe in as you lift the arms over your head. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bend the knees, fold yourself forward. Uttanasana. Inhaling, halfway lift, hands come to the shins, long spine here. As you exhale, hands come to the ground, step yourself back into a kneeling plank. Couple of different options. You could stay here in your kneeling plank, or you're gonna press, either tuck onto the toes, lift the knees off, or if you want the extra challenge, keep the toes untucked and then press up onto the tops of the feet. And we're just gonna hold. So you want to think about drawing the belly button in, ribs to hips, press away from the ground. Try round and lift up through the shoulders as much as you can. Take a big breath in. Exhale to hold. One more breath. Oh, this is spicy. Good. All right, knees are going to come down. Tuck onto the toes. Send the hips back. Balasana, option to lift the knees off the ground if that felt good for you. Lower the knees down to the ground again. Option to keep the toes tucked, or you can untuck them. Come back, take a big breath in as you lift the shoulders up. Exhale as you pull them down. Now, this is a bit of free time. You can do whatever you want here, as long as you've got the toes tucked, although you can have them untucked as well. So you might take a couple of neck circles here. You could do some fun things with the arms. Again, just be creative. Try not to think about it too much. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, walk yourself out in front, spread the fingertips wide, tuck onto the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Maybe you lift high onto your toes on your breath in. Exhaling, lowering the heels, maybe lifting the toes as much as you can. Walk up to the top of the mat. Breathe in, lift yourself halfway, shoulders in line with the hips. As you exhale, fold yourself forward. Option to stay on the feet, the soles of the feet here, or lift the inner arches of the feet, come to the outside arches. Notice what you can feel here. What sensations does this movement create? Land the feet back down. Breathe in as you sweep the arms high above the head. As you exhale, fold forward again. Inhaling, halfway lift. Lift the belly high into the spine. As you exhale, hands come to the ground. Step yourself back into your kneeling plank. Again, option to stay here. Option to tuck onto the toes or untuck the toes. I would recommend for this variation to take your feet wide here. So whatever plank you would like, whatever feels good. You could stay here, or you could try to shift your weight into your right foot. Tap the left hand towards the right shoulder. Inhale, come back. Exhale, shift the weight into the left, maybe right hand towards the left shoulder. One more time each side. You might even find that it feels good to take the right toes off the ground as well, so opposite foot off. That's super challenging. So breathing in, change to the other side. Exhale. Hands come down, breathe in. Exhale, chaturanga, come down to the ground. Oh my goodness. Inhale, baby Bhujangasana. Light press through the hands, roll the shoulders back. As you exhale, press to the knees, tuck onto the toes, lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Gosh, that's a lot for the feet, right? Okay, we're going to move into our main sequence here. This is a bit of a shorter class, so we're going to move swiftly. Breathe in, sweep the right toes high. Try keep the right hip down here and press firmly into the right hand. Keep the leg long and then try flex the right foot. Breathe in, point the foot. Exhale, flex. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Can you make the leg a little bit longer? Inhale. Exhale. Inhale as you point your foot again. As you exhale, roll yourself forward, tap the right knee to the nose. As you exhale, step the right foot in between the hands. Option to keep the sole of the foot down on the ground or come to the outside edge of the right foot. This is where it's going to get a little bit funky. Left leg is off the ground. Breathe in, high lunge. Whoo. Exhale, can you drop your hips down? Keep bending the right knee forward. It will probably be tracking out to the side slightly. If you want to play with your balance a little bit more, draw the ribs in. Right hand comes around the left wrist. Breathe in. As you exhale, try to lean over towards the right. Keep dropping the hips, back leg is long. Inhale, come back through center, plant the sole of the foot down. Exhale, tip forward into your Parsvottanasana. Arms reach towards the top of the mat. Soft bend in the right leg. Option to lift the right heel off here. Spread the right toes wide. Inhale here. Exhale, try keep the heel off as you shift the weight forward, bringing the left foot next to the right. We're still on the toes here. Hands come through heart center. Breathe in, shoulders down. Exhale, Utkatasana. Hips are going to go back. Lift the chest up tall, ribs to hips. Okay. Try land the heels here. Breathe in. As you exhale, while trying to keep the spine in neutral, see how low you can drop the hips back. It probably won't be too far, and that's okay. Inhale, come back. Option to keep the heels down again, or take the outside edges of the feet down, same thing. Try keep the long spine as you drop the hips back. Come back through center, inhale, keep the heels off this time. Exhale, lower the hips all the way down to the heels. Inhale as you come up, place the heels down. This time take the toes out. Let the knees press out over the toes. Breathe in, shoulders down. Exhale, lower down, lift the heels off. Let the knees track out as wide as you can. Take a big breath in. Exhale, press through the toes. Let the heels drop down and then come up to standing. Nice job. Bring the feet in. Hands to hips. Breathe in as you start to lift the right knee up. You could stay here if you wanted more of a challenge. Extend the right toes out long. Drop the right hip down slightly. Start taking some circles with the right foot. So turning in one direction and then swap it out to the other direction. Breathe in here. As you exhale, point the toe, start taking the right foot around to the side of the mat and then towards the back. Ardha Chandrasana. Hands can stay on hips if it feels good. Try draw the right hip back, right shoulder back. One more breath here. Long step back with the right foot. Try keep the left toes down, but turn the right toes towards the back of the mat. Breathe in. Exhale, Skandasana variation, but keep the toes down. See how low you can drop into the hips without lifting the left toes. Right knee over toes. You might be a lot higher, and that's totally cool. All right, hands come to the ground. Lower the right knee towards the ground as you pivot towards the top of the mat. Shift the weight back over your right knee. Breathe in as you start to lift the left foot off, hands still might be at your hips. And then as you exhale, see if you can take the foot wide. Woo. And then slide the knee in. Goodness me. Okay. Walk your hands out to your plank. Knees down, tucked toes or untucked toes. Breathe in as you lift up. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, maybe Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, this time upward facing dog. Exhale, come up and back. Downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. That was funky. Take a big breath in. Exhale, dropping the heels towards the ground. It is okay if they don't touch. The priority is trying to get the spine long here. Bring your attention back to your breath, back to your body if you've noticed it's floated away. Let's try this on the other side. Breathe in, sweep the left toes high. Foot is pointed, hip is down. Use your next exhale to flex the foot. Inhale to point. Exhale, flex. Inhale, point. One more breath. Keep drawing the shoulders up the spine. Use your next breath in, point the toe. Exhale, roll forward, knee to nose. Step the left foot in between the hands. Remember, sole of the foot can be down. Or if you want the challenge, come to the outside edge of the left foot. Inhale as you rise to your high lunge. This is going to throw us way off balance with having the edge of the foot down. Draw the ribs in slightly. Back leg is long. You could stay here or left hand clasp around the right wrist. Breathe in. As you exhale, try lean over towards the left. Ah, so good. Okay, come back through center. Place the sole of the foot down, reach the hands forward, breathe in, lengthen the left leg. Exhale, shift the weight forward, shoulders back. Stay here or try lift the left heel off. Breathe in. Start to transition the weight forward. Exhale, set the right foot next to the left. Both heels are off. Hands come through heart center. Breathe in. As you exhale, Utkatasana, hips go back, heels are still lifted off for the moment. Place the heels down, breathe in, same thing as before. Exhale, can you drop your hips back a little bit more? Find your depth of motion here with the spine still in neutral. Come back through center. This time, if you want, outer edges of the feet come down just like we did before. Breathe in. Exhale, you can bring the hands out in front to counterbalance. Long spine. Inhale, come back through, lift the heels. Exhale, find your toe stand, dropping the hips down. Breathe in, come back through center. This time, plant the heels, turn the toes. Exhale, just like your plie within ballet, come down. Try to be a little bit more alert here. So lift the hips up over the heels, draw the knees back. Use your next breath in, come back through standing, press through the toes. Exhale, land the heels. Good job. Turn the toes in. Hands come to hips. Ribs in, left tall. Right foot firmly planted down on the ground. Breathe in as you lift the left toes. Leg is long or it can be bent. Start taking some circles with the foot. Try to keep the shoulders away from the ears. And then switching directions of the circles. Building a lot of strength in our left hip flexor here. Take a big breath in. Exhale, try to keep the leg long, although you can bend it if you want. Try sweep it behind you. You might pivot your right heel back as you come into your Ardha Chandrasana. So trying to roll that left hip back slightly. Left shoulder back. Find length. One more breath. Breathe in as you take a long step back with the left foot. Lightly turn the toes out. Right toes along on the ground. Exhale, Skandasana. Again, see how low you can go with keeping the right toes down on the ground. Knee presses out, left knee. Hands come to the ground. Pivot the left knee towards the ground, but keep the right knee long. Start to lift yourself up. Whew. Breathe in. Right leg lifts. And then see if you can start to travel it wide. Hands might come off the hips for this. And then eventually you'll slide the right knee in. Good job, well done. Super fun. Bring the hands out, knees down, knees off. Whatever foot variation feels good here, breathe in as you lift up as much as you can. Exhale, chaturanga, elbows coming close. Inhale, maybe Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. This time as we exhale, knees come down. Shift the hips back. Take one more breath in your Balasana, breathing in your child's pose. Exhaling to let go. Know that you can stay here for as long as you want. Start to roll yourself up if you're ready. We've got a very quick cool down sequence. We're going to extend the right leg out long. Either Janu Shasana, head to knee pose with the left foot in. Right peace fingers are going to come around the big toe if it meets, and we're going to try pull ourselves forward. One other alternative we could try here is lifting the left ankle up, trying to bring it on top of the right hip for more of our Ardha Padmasana, our half lotus. Left hand combined around the back, and maybe it meets the left foot. Either way, try to lean forward. Letting the breath slow us down here. Noticing the different sensations in the body. Where can you feel this movement today? If you feel like you have space, take one more deep breath. Try lift up a little bit. As you exhale, maybe you fold forward a little bit deeper. Let's unwind, and we're going to swap it out. So extend the left leg out front, bend the right knee. Again, it might land on the inside of the leg, or you might lift it up and then over onto the left hip crease. One side might be a little bit different. You also can sit up onto a block or a pillow here if you needed to. Right hand can wrap behind. Okay, breathe in, maybe the peace fingers around the left big toe. Exhale to fold. Remember, you always have the option to unwind and just keep with the forward fold. Can you use the grasp of the toe to help draw yourself forward, up, and then forward a little bit more? One more deep breath. Unwind. Let's come down onto our backs. Roll yourself down. Maybe let's find Halasana for the final moment of our practice. Hands come by our sides. Lift the toes up. Breathe in. You could stay here, or as you exhale, lift the hips. Try to take the feet up and over the head. Now the toes could be pointed here. You could try tuck onto the toes, especially if they meet down on the ground. If your feet are kind of in the air, it might not matter as much, but give it a go. See if you have any different sensations. If you feel any sharp sensations, that's an indication you've gone a little bit too far and we want to unwind. Stay here for as long as feels good. When you feel ready, you might come down onto your back for Shavasana. And if there are any other asanas, any other movements that your body is kind of calling for before we rest for a minute or two, then go for it. Maybe there's a twist that feels good, or maybe a bridge pose or a happy baby. Noticing if any tension has crept up in the body. And can we gently ask those parts of us to let go, to soften. And when our body can soften, then our mind can be more at ease as well. Let's take about 2 more deep breaths here. And if you have more time, I highly encourage you to stay here. If you're ready to transition out as slowly and as kind of non-disruptive as you can, just start to maybe grab the backs of the legs and roll yourself up. Landing with our eyes closed. Letting the shoulders soften away from the ears. Taking a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, maybe a subtle bow of the head down towards the ground, down to our heart space. I thank you so much for practicing with me today, and I hope you enjoyed it and had fun and were feeling playful and creative during that time. Namaste. And if you really enjoyed this class, then I would love to hear from you, from a comment or a like or a share with a friend. It means the world. And if you wanted to support me a little bit more directly, check out our Patreon account where we hold longer videos as well, where we get into more depths of practice, going beyond asana. So pranayama, meditation, philosophy, all that kind of stuff. I look forward to seeing you soon.